Hi, I'm Matthew Dahl. It's from The Science of Psychotherapy. This is a quick snippet from our podcast. This is me talking with Richard Hill about rhythms and cycles. Now, you talk about rhythms in your book, and I'm wondering if you can just explain just a little bit. We know about circadian rhythm, but you talk about another sort of rhythm.
Yeah, there's rhythms and cycles, and this is a part of the again the philosophy, the framework of returning to an awareness and an interaction with the naturalness of being human. And it was really lovely. I was in the recent travels. I was in Barcelona, and I had the good fortune to go to the church, the Sagrada Familia, Gaudi, the wonderful architect.
Yep.
And I found a little, in the museum, there was a little quote of his, because he was always told he was incredibly original. You know, where do you get this originality in all your designs? And he said, originality consists of returning to the origins.
Right. Yeah.
And you go and look at his drawings, and it's what we were talking about with Terry Marks Tarlow and fractals, and he goes back to shapes and frames. Then, of course, it just consists of, and he adds a lot more to it. So this the nature of the cycles and of this rhythm is really important. Now the circadian rhythm, that's at 24-hour, and sometimes it can be broken into a 12-hour rhythm. And ultradian rhythms it's just a word for rhythms shorter than circadian.
Okay.
Now,
Yep.
I guess we've been a bit naughty because we've hijacked the word as though the rhythm we're talking about is the only ultradian rhythm. But you know, your eye blinking is a ultradian rhythm. Your heartbeat is an ultradian rhythm. You have ultradian rhythms in a whole bunch of biological processes that have their own timing.
Right. Got it. Yep.
But the timing that occurs in neural energetic flow from the beginning of an energetic process beginning to a peak of performance to then a tiring and a downward reduction of energetic capacity to actually a pause is about 90 to 120 minutes.
Okay.
Now, when Rossi was working with Ericsson would do 90-minute sessions. And Rossi would say, why do you do 90-minute sessions? And he would say, because it takes that long to get something done.
Okay.
That's my bad Ericsson impression. And then Rossi found this guy, Nathaniel Kleitman. There were a couple of other blokes, but this particular guy was working on sleep cycles. Now, we were pretty clear of those because you would have a deep sleep and then you would have a interim thing. Then you'd have this REM sleep process. Then that would stop, another bit of a medium deep sleep. And they plotted this into 90 to 120 minute cycles. And they were regular.
Okay.
He called it the basic rest activity cycle of mental activity. Then, of course, they extended that out and looked at during the day. Same thing. Now, each of these different ultradian rhythms have a different sort of scale in themselves. You start off a little bit energetic in the morning and then a bit something in the middle, and it fades off during the day. But the essence of it is we have every hour and a half or so a heightened state when we're working. At a different phase in that hour and a half, we have a very passive, peaceful state when we need to do something different. And what Ernie then found was, through a bunch of different people, and it's all over the place, it's in physics and area, was a 4-stage cycle of creative interaction where there's new information comes in. That information is processed for relevance, for personal relevance. There's usually some kind of breakthrough where I get what that information means to me. Then there's a new set of creative processes that then go to a 4th stage of the individual then implementing and going, well, how do I put those into my life? How do I plan and make new directions? And although this 4-stage cycle goes over everything on all kinds of different frames, that's what occurs in the 90 to 120 minute cycle on a regular basis. And learning to be in touch with that 4-stage cycle in the ultradian rhythm is a sensitivity to natural humanness that is so beneficial when you're working with a client.
Well, if you want to know more about the science of psychotherapy, come across to our website, thescienceofpsychotherapy.com, and our podcast of the same name, and learn more about the science of you.